Now, I just named a whole bunch of things of why we purchased this property. A lot of those things aren't even factors anymore. Today I want to talk a little bit about, first, why and how we bought this property here in Colorado. There are a few things that are really important. For us, it had to be accessible. Our home is about an hour and a half away, so it had to be close enough that we could make it here just about any time we wanted, but far enough away that it was a trip to get out here, so it was a destination.
It has been fun watching the kids run around, explore, build, and put their creativity to good use, like building their own forts. And we have enjoyed our overnight campouts too.
Second, we wanted privacy. We live at the very end of our road in our subdivision. Our subdivision's actually pretty big, but it has a gate at the front end of it. The only people that can get in are the Forest Service and the people who live here. So that was also something very important to us, is so that we could have that privacy, not be able to hear cars from the road as they're coming by or anything like that. Affordability. I really didn't think we were going to be able to purchase land, but I've always had a dream of owning land. When I was young, my dad bought a piece of property out on the lake, and back then I lived in Kentucky, but I have the fondest memories of that from when I was young. So for me, it's always been kind of that dream to, you know what, I want to find that piece of property so my kids can experience that, what I did. So that was kind of the driving factor behind it.
Aside from camping, we have had fun riding the four-wheelers, sledding, and snowboarding down the long drive. Shooting BB guns and arrows, and enjoying our family hikes.
How did it all happen? Well, I will advise you, if you're ever looking at land, use a realtor. I couldn't have even come up here if I didn't have a realtor to get me through that gate. So you can get so much more and have so much more information by using a realtor. When we came up, we went and saw this property right next door, and it's a beautiful piece of property as well, but not as tall of trees, not as dense a forest. It did have a power pole on it, so there's already power to the property. Ours doesn't. We did have a power pole all of 20 feet from our property line, so close enough. It's now a little further. They didn't replace that power pole after the fires came through. They did get most of the power going up here, but now our power pole is probably 60 to 80 feet away from the property line. So if we want to, in the future, we can still bring power up to this property. I don't really intend to at this point. That's something to look at later down the road. In Colorado, one of the significant things that you're looking for is water. This property next to us that had power didn't have anything. On our property, we actually had a spring coming out of the hillside, up the hill. That's not overly common, so it was just a little spring, but we figured, you know what, we can use this. And the aspens on this section of property were insane. So it had some great aspen groves that we hope are going to come back. We'll find out. But on the other piece of property, there weren't any aspens. But down here, there's still an aspen grove that you can see the trees that we hope are coming back. And they even had aspens up on the hillside as well, and all the way through where the springs were coming out of the mountainside. So when I brought my wife up here, she fell in love with it as well. And so we figured it out. I'd gained some equity in my home, and I had some money in my 401k. And between the two, we were able to scrap enough money together to purchase this 10-acre piece of land. And we ended up buying it for $75,000. In this area, that's pretty good. We were quite pleased with that, and it's exactly what we were looking for. So, now I just named a whole bunch of things of why we purchased this property. A lot of those things aren't even factors anymore. We don't have a dense forest anymore. The privacy that we used to have is opened up. We can see some of our neighbors' cabins that are down the way, where before we couldn't see them at all. But why am I still here? Well, I own it, and I don't want to take a loss on the property, and I really want to see what I can make of this. I'm young enough that I can deal with the long term and realize this is going to take 20, 30 years to truly recover, but I want to give a good go at it.
Thanks for watching. If you have any comments, put those below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.